Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here with Ian Frazier at TXG, and today, man, I have a treat for you guys. In one of the sessions that we were working on, I had my 7-iron, and we were looking at, I was hitting some fades, and we realized that the toe of the club was a little bit high coming through impact. So today is all about, number one, gapping my irons, and number two, seeing how I swing the short versus the mid versus the long irons. And
exactly.
In your experience, what have you seen?
Well, we're looking at the dynamics of how the swing changes. We know that with a shorter club at times, you know, ball position goes back a little bit. The shaft tends to lean forward a little bit more. So the dynamics involved with swinging a short iron are very different from swinging the longest iron in your bag. So we need to make sure that those differences in the swing dynamically they basically produce the right set of flights.
See, you see the word dynamically? We're all about dynamically, and we just met the person who talks about dynamic when it comes to club fitting. And so we're gonna gap my right-handed clubs first.
Correct.
I got a challenge for him today. and then we'll see what the gapping is and how I'm swinging each club and what the lie should be with each category of length of clubs.
That's exactly it.
Because I felt the need to put like my wedges are the same length as my 9-iron.
Yeah.
Because I found that at lower than a 9-iron, which is, for me, it's a ½ inch longer than standard, it just was uncomfortable as far as the length is concerned. So I tend to have same length till 9, but then I really enjoy the length of my long irons tremendously. You know, I love my long irons.
And for a taller player, that's completely understandable, that when the posture starts to get over too much, and too much kind of hip hinge can take you into a posture that you're not that comfortable with, and we know how much of our game is played with those wedges, so it's so important that you are comfortable.
Beautiful.
Great.
So what do we do first?
Let's so we're going to start with your on the even clubs. Let's start with your most lofted club.
Perfect. So we're going to start with the lob wedge.
We'll start with that
because I advocate, you know, hitting draw. So we'll do draw throughout. So we'll do a stock draw with the whole set, right? Okay. Do we need to dot these things?
We are.
Okay. So that the machine can identify the lie angle and the face, where we're hitting the ball in the face, right?
It's one of the beauties of using GC Quad over other monitors in the market. Using the dynamic lie angle feature is phenomenal for us to be able to see exactly what the golf club is doing, how the shaft is it standing up, is it sitting down.
Oh, well, you guys are going to love this.
Okay.
That's it. So you can see how we've prepared the face. That way, the 36 lenses of this machine, right?
4 cameras, 9 lenses in each camera.
Isn't that incredible?
Impressive stuff.
All right. So I do need an intermediate point here for my little draw. Is that lining up pretty much with my center line? Yeah? So I'm just going to stay to the right edge of that, ball slightly back in my stance, just a slight little draw. Hey, how about that, huh?
96 is pretty good, eh?
All right. And that was 2 out of 10 for effort and 6 out of 10 for velocity, right? So that's where you want to keep that. And that's basically the straight draw. I mean, what was that? 10 feet right of the pin?
Five yards.
Okay.
Yeah, just about 15 feet right.
15 feet.
Yeah,
perfect.
Pretty good. Nicely done.
Come on, suck back.
Turned out a little bit more, so we flew that one 97.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit about the dynamic lie angle.
Yes.
We're in great shape with this. 0.4 toe down, so we're decimal points away from having.
So we're really not enough to talk about as far as lie.
No.
Fantastic.
No.
One more?
Yep. So Shawn, we like to see about 3 really solid shots in order to kind of gauge a nice average.
Yeah, that was pretty solid there. It was pretty much center face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Well, the lob wedge is behaving itself. No complaints.
No complaints.
None.
Cool. All right, we have 1 down. 12 more to go.
Okay.
So the next one in my right hand would be my
your gap wedge.
Gap wedge, yes. Yep. So I go, I had my sand wedge adjusted to 55 degrees, and then I got my 50-degree gap wedge. And then the lefty pitching wedge, then the righty 9-iron. So we're going to go gap to 9. Do you want to dot the 9, Matt? And my 7's already, I kept the dots on my 7, so.
So what we're ultimately trying to get, Shawn, is we're trying to get a set that is balanced. So we're trying to make sure throughout the whole bag, every club has its job.
Yeah.
We should see a really, actually it's really fascinating once you go through it. Most people think, well, my pitching wedge is going to go, very high, and my 6-iron is probably going to go a bit lower.
Right.
The reality is they all go at the same height.
Yeah.
They just hit their peak. The pitching wedge hits its peak closer to you, so it looks higher. The 6-iron hits its peak further down the driving range, so it looks further away.
Right.
So, we tell, the story of, Ben Hogan, when he used to do this with his caddy at Shady Oaks.
Yeah.
He had a tree on the driving range that he used to use for him, it was the ideal apex of his ball flight.
There you go.
So he and his caddy would their drill together was, Hogan would go back 10 yards once he was able to get the ball to peak at this tree. So then he would step it back 10 yards, hit the next club. If it peaked at the tree, the caddy would give him the green light. They would move on to the next club, back another 10 yards.
Okay.
And that was before launch monitors and GC quad and all these things. That's how they gapped their set.
That's really cool, because I always pick the height that I want to hit my shot on as I set up. So we're good there.
So we're just going to plug in that we're using your 50-degree now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the wedge. Ping glide. What shaft's in that one there, Shawn?
Dynamic Gold S300.
S300?
Yep.
Okay, good. Excellent. And normal sort of distance with this one, where are you comfortable?
130.
130. Let's move that back. Let's step it back a little bit. Okay.
To be 125 and 130.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what that gives us. So we've got it 133. So with a bounce, we should just be in front of the pin.
Okay.
Here she comes, turning back over, 1 bounce.
Is that 126
Okay,
carry?
we'll make a little adjustment.
And this machine is amazing, because I mean, it really represents my yardages to what I'm used to playing.
It really does.
Like I've never had a machine represent my distances so accurately. No TrackMan, no flight scope. As far as the indoor settings are concerned, there's no way.
Okay, let's hit a couple more and make sure we're still happy with the performance. Yeah, nicely done.
130. So it looks like it's about 125. Well, yeah, it's probably going to average around 125 carry.
Yep. Okay, let's
one
do
more?
2 more.
2 more?
2 more. Really good there. Really good. Really good. You can make that one. Okay, so we are seeing a little bit of a discrepancy with this one in terms of the dynamic lie angle.
Okay.
If we pop over to the club here.
Okay.
So we saw the first 60 degree, the club was just about perfect. The sole kind of interaction was great.
Perfect.
With this one, we're seeing the toe a little bit more up.
So it's a good 2+ degrees up.
It is. And then when we get that, obviously, you know, the toe up in the air, it's not just the toe that's up in there, it's the sweet spot of the golf club will move up there with it. So, you know, if we've the club too much toe up, the sweet spot has actually moved a little bit higher. So we might not be getting as much ball speed, as much consistency as we should get, because we're getting a groove too low on the club. So let's hit one more.
Okay. That'll be a little too much, but didn't stay right on my intermediate point. So that.
Okay, right. So I'm going to make a quick adjustment here. So this is the first one we've seen that we need to actually take a little look at, have a look at the dynamic lie angle.
Okay.
So we're going to go over to the loft and lie machine.
This is with the digital reading, no more eyeball readings. I love it.
Okay, so we're going to just take a look, see exactly where you're at. So you're playing this currently, it's bang on the 50 that it should be. And it's sitting about a degree upright. Okay, so let's take that down. We'll take you a fraction flatter than that.
Okay.
Make a good little squeeze, try and take it down about 63.5. That was a quarter of a degree out.
Those pings are nice. They're easy to bend.
They are. Yeah, that's the one thing. Your ping have done a great job of making them easier to bend.
63 and a quarter.
63 and a quarter, and literally we're just going to give the smallest little nudge back up.
Look at you, man.
Okay.
Look at you. Look at the master at work, huh?
We're on the money.
Love it. Okay.
So I could definitely see with the gap wedge, we saw quite a bit more curvature.
Right.
We were kind of seeing a bit more of the left side of the green. That's what we would expect to see from a club that's a little bit too upright. So make that little edit. So we're going to add in.
Because the shaft length, because I have them the length of my 9-iron, it's obviously going to affect the lie.
Well, you're playing, so length of a 9-iron, 36 inches. Standard gap wedge is 35 and a half. So you're looking at, you're already adding some upright because of the length.
Yeah, I'm adding at least an inch on that.
Okay. All right, let's see if this just takes a little bit of that curve out.
I'd say.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good there.
So, wow. Dead center, basically, right?
Really good. Strike was dead center. We prefer the dynamic lie angle to be, you know, a little more toe down for you is good, because at times we can overcook that curve.
Right.
So if we are on the lower end of the zero, on the toe down end, that's not a bad thing with a wedge at all.
Excellent.
Okay. Let's another couple.
Spin looks okay. 10,
yeah, you certainly produce tons of spin.
Oh no, I knew I was a little far from that ball right out of the gate.
Okay.
No need. But I can get up then.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's certainly not the worst miss in the world, is it?
Good miss. All right, so I'm staying right edge of that. When I do, it feels like I'm going to hit it solid. Got it. Yes, definitely. Look at that.
So the curvature's a bit more controlled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just dialed it in a little bit. So those look fantastic. they were already going the right distance. Now we've got them going on the right trajectory, you know, start line and curve.
So it looked like I picked up a couple of yards average on that, no?
Let's have a little look. Well, what it just looked like, Shawn, is you just became more consistent with it now. If we know the middle one was a bit of an outlier because we had that fraction thin, but the first set we hit, you know, carry distance 122, 125, 132.
Yeah, pulled that one.
Yeah, we had some slightly more inconsistent.
Yeah, more 125, and this is like more 127 average. Yeah. So that's a lot better.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Good.
9-iron.
Let's do it.
So those so we had to flatten it about 2 degrees?
We flattened that 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, we went from 65 down to 63.5.
Wow.
And that just
and that made a significant difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from what we know of your sort of distances so far, gap wedge was about 127, pitch and wedge should be about 140. Would that be about your number?
Yeah.
About around 152 on the 9-iron?
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
So we start to kind of, you know, piece this together in our minds now as to the balance of what we want from a yardage gapping perspective. So
about 12 yards should be the average,
right? Yeah, it should be. And you're 12 yards because you hit it a long way. Some people might find 12 is a bit of a stretch to get 12 yards between it if you don't hit it quite as far as what you do.
Right.
So maybe 10 to 12 would be the appropriate spacing.
And the loft on that gap wedge was 50?
It was perfect.
It was perfect. Okay, good. Excellent. All right. So this should be 152. There we go. I love the adjustable green on this machine. It's like you're giving me the perfect club every time, right?
Okay.
Excellent. That was a decent strike.
Okay. So definitely a little bit of curve, which is giving you the curve is giving you a little bit extra carry distance as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're kind of overcooking that a little bit. Okay, set one more.
Definitely put a good pass on it. That should be pretty decent. It's a lot of movement for a 9-iron.
A lot of movement for a 9-iron. You took the words out of my mouth. So we're going to
155. Okay.
We're just going to calm that curvature down a little bit. So we're still seeing that toe up
1.5
representation.
Toe up, yeah.
Yep.
All right. The master's back at work.
Loft in your 9-iron, Shawn, 42 degrees. So right now we're looking at 50 on the gap wedge.
Yeah.
46 in the pitch and wedge is where we're going to be.
Yeah.
42 in the 9-iron.
So 42 on the 9's fine?
42 on the 9 is fine. And then we're going to be down at 38 on the 8-iron, 34 on the 7, 30 on the 6. Ooh. So we're already kind of mapping it out in our head as to where we need to go.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a little bit flatter now.
All right. I haven't played with flat clubs in a dog's age.
I think what we're able to show the viewers here, Shawn, is that you don't always need a new set. You might just need modifications to your own set. So why not check that out first?
And I mean, the rate that these guys charge is less than $100 to do this service that you're seeing right now.
That's
I mean,
right.
To me, that's an invaluable service.
Okay, so we're 42 is the loft, 62 is the lie. We'll change that over to wedge. Okay.
All right.
Let's see if we have just that nice baby draw now. Just
a little baby draw.
Overcooking it.
Well, look at that. A baby draw. Ha!
Beautiful.
Staying to the right side of the flag.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure it flew 152, right on our number.
Okay. Genius! Can you believe it? That's amazing. Okay, I'm sold. One more to confirm. My focus
Okay,
could
mate,
have
yep.
stayed. That was a focus one, Ian.
It's a little
I
bit
was
more
just,
speed to that one. You've got another little gear in there.
Yeah, just a little. But I was just exuberance from the previous reading. Let me do one more.
Okay.
So right edge, right edge, right edge. There we go. That I stayed with.
Oh boy, excellent.
And you said
Excellent.
152.
Yeah. 152 is our number, isn't it?
There we go.
Okay.
151.
Come on.
There we go. So when I stay with it, we're good. And I mean, that is the perfect little draw right there, isn't it?
Okay, so
With a
let's
little bit of spin that should go in the hole.
step into the 7. We know you fly this right on around 175.
Yeah. So 152, 164,
Yep.
175.
Yeah, 152, 64. You're probably 75, 76,
Yeah, yeah.
somewhere in that
Oh,
region.
this is shaping up pretty cool right now.
Okay.
So 173. That's a good start. What's the lie look like?
It was actually okay. Dynamic lie angle was 0.3 toe up.
Okay. So, and this is the one that you told me, and this is why
We
I'm so
made-
happy we're doing this today, because this is supposed to be 2 degrees up.
Yeah,
And you put it on the machine, and it's at 1.5 flat.
that's right.
And I'm still slightly toe up with that. So, needless to say, that threw me for a loop. Good miss.
Very good miss.
That's just, it was a little heely.
Fraction out in the heel, you can just hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a hair low.
Okay. Well, that's a darn good miss.
Pinger making a forgiving golf club.
Ping power. One more?
Let's hit one more.
So far, it's a pretty good reading. It's pretty good right now, no?
Well, for the viewers, this is the one we had previously adjusted, wasn't it? So
Yes.
this one should be behaving itself.
There we go. There we go. So average, so that was 177 there. Put a good swing on it.
Average dynamic lie. So the second last one we had the toe fractionally up, but a little bit of an anomaly versus
Yeah.
the first two. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. No, this one's good.
So nothing to change here.
7 looks good.
All right.
7 looks good. Okay, so we're going to go into the 5.
Little 5-iron.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we're going to see you right around 200 yards on the fly with this one.
200 on the fly?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that pretty
Yeah.
representative of
I
what
would
you
say,
see?
Yeah. So notice as we're performing this, you guys, how important that intermediate point is, because I'm using the intermediate point to guide my release. And if I'm releasing consistently to the right edge of that intermediate point, I'm getting my little draw, and we're giving Ian something to work with as far as consistency. So hair back of center. If I release in that direction, it feels like my club face is closed enough that it's going to draw. So now I'm staying with my task, which is releasing to the right edge of that. And that was not it. Now, that'd be interesting to see, though, what was the, it was toe up. Interesting.
Toe up, yeah. And it's sort of shown as the strike was high in the head.
Okay.
Just by catching a little bit behind it, deflected the head downward. That's
Okay.
all that was. Even the best, like yourself, hit the odd bad one.
Of course.
Yeah, even the best. Flushed it.
All right, nice draw.
Yep.
So distance-wise, that's pretty good. 205, 203, perfect.
203. Center strike, fractionally toe up.
Okay. So it's 2 degrees toe up.
We're seeing that on every club, apart from the 7-iron, which we had previously adjusted. So there's a real pattern for you that your club does need to be a little bit flatter than standard.
Do I do one more to confirm?
Yeah, let's do one more. Give us our 3, and then we'll adjust it and do 3 more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it's going to show up a little bit there. Yeah.
I stretched myself out a little bit more. That probably is even a little more toe up. It's 1.7 toe up.
Okay. So this is at the point, Shawn, where we start to go, okay, well maybe that, the dynamic loft of the golf club is a little bit low, and maybe we need to change the static golf club, take away a little bit of that carry distance. That's almost becoming a slightly less functional 5-iron. Now, we've overcooked that with the curvature, but we're going to, if we're seeing the spin rate down in the kind of low 4s, we need to be able just down in that bottom there, launch it at 14. We need a little bit more from that. We want to spin that.
So let's have a look at the
the loft of it.
You always have to be careful of the ego of the player.
Okay, so we are at 27.5. So they're certainly not strong in loft.
Right.
You just tend to de-loft your long irons a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so let's make a little adjustment.
Okay.
So we're going to do...
What about a 1 degree?
We're going to go a 2-way bend here. We're going to go a little bit flatter and fractionally more loft. Okay. So if we were just doing lie angle, we would do it in line with the face. Just doing loft, we would do it in line here. So somewhere in the middle.
Look at that. You can do both in one swoop.
Yeah. So we're going to go up to 28.5. Okay.
28.5?
Yep. And then we're going to go fractionally down in terms of the lie, down to about 60. 59, I'm going to nudge that back up a little quarter. Okay, 28, perfect, okay.
All right. Perfect. All right.
Okay, so we're going to make the little adjustment. So we're now at 28 and 50.
And how often, if I hit balls pretty much every day with my clubs, how often should I check lies?
We want to see our customers about twice a year.
Twice a year?
So we see start of the season and then kind of halfway through the season. Just we want to see how your swing's evolving with time and maybe some changes with the coach, etc.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see if we're a little closer to that 202 carry.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, it looks different. I'm going to need a little adjustment here. It's amazing how that little adjustment really hits the eye. That was nutted. I can release that a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's amazing how it didn't change much, huh? I just put a good swing on it.
You have a lot of speed when it comes to the 5-iron.
Now you know why I like my long irons. It's just something about them. I just love how they feel. We'll do one more?
Yep, let's do one more.
I'll just weaken the grip a smidge, open the face a tad, and just let it release a little more to the right. A little more through. But that should be more, that should be closer as a miss. That's like almost 200 right there.
196 in the air, that one, yep.
Okay.
Do me one favor, Shawn. Hit a very soft, gentle fade with this one. Just want to see what happens. because there's something when it comes to your 5 iron, the first few, your club path being as in to out as that, 10, 11 degrees moving rightward has to de-loft the club significantly because the face has 10, 11 degrees to go back the other way towards the target line. So for obviously the rotation to get back to the target, we have to lose loft to do that, which is why your long irons go so far. So, you know, that's something where we can just soften the distance a little bit by hitting the
fade. It'd be a challenge for Ian today. All right. So
that was really nice. Really nice.
Soft fade. All right.
Excellent. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so when we neutralize that club path a little bit, the face has to do a little bit less in order to kind of square up.
Yeah.
So the launch angle comes up, the spin rate comes up, everything else regulates, and we get right around our 200-yard 5 iron that we were trying for.
And the lie at impact, were you able
I'm just going to double check. Sometimes you can get a little bit of residue off the loft and lie machine covers one of the stickers.
Okay.
That's probably what happened. So when we're dealing with players that have all sorts of shapes and curvatures to their swing, we have to bear in mind the implications of the club, the face to path relationship in terms of the dynamic loft that will create certain distance gaps.
Right.
Okay.
Beautiful. So one more fade.
Let's do one more fade. I love that last one. Really nice shape.
Focus a bit there.
Just hung on a little bit.
So that was a little toward the toe. Distance-wise, it was okay?
Yeah, it was right on our number, wasn't it?
Right on the number? 195.
So the lie angles,
that was gear effect, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, not so much the gear effect. Let me have a little look at where we were. So we had closed face and an out-to-in path. So we
That's amazing. I'm still slightly toe up.
Just fractionally.
Just,
decimal points, but that was just a fractionally closed face.
And what would the loft or the lie be right now? Is it
59?
So which is what?
Relative
standard?
to what standard would be, we're looking at 50. So 61.5 would be a standard.
So I'm
5
actually
iron.
flat.
Yeah.
I've never been flat.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So back to just one draw.
Let's go a little soft draw.
Soft draw. So let me tighten up the ball position a little more center.
Nicely done. Excellent.
Yeah, that's I can't do much better than that.
Yeah, that's about ideal.
Good. So 204. So we're there, aren't we?
We're right on our carry number. The toe is fractionally up.
Okay.
Fractionally up.
Wow. So we're good with that?
Yeah, no, that was a right on our number.
3 iron. Beautiful.
3 iron. One of the few that
I
carry
know.
a 3 iron.
Come on, man. I still have a 1 iron. I just didn't bring it. I have my MP33 Mizuno. I've been trying to get Ping to make me one. So do you want, we'll start a couple of fades, a couple of draws?
Yeah.
Just to get a better reading?
Yep, let's go with the stock shape to start with. And again, we're trying to kind of almost predict what distance we're going to fly this, but I mean, what do you look
225?
at? 225. Okay. So let's call it a 2.
Wouldn't that make sense? Because then 202 for the 5 iron. We're looking at 4 iron should be around 212 to 215, I guess?
Yeah, but 215, 225 on this one. So if we have 225 on the fly, we get a little bit of run out.
Yep.
So flag at 230.
Okay.
Okay.
Fell just a little off balance on that. So Distance-wise, 224. Okay, so we're good.
Center strike. We had the fade path with the draw face.
Okay, so let me open the face a smidge to give you your soft fade. Gotta throw it just a little bit better.
Okay.
That was just a little heavy. Okay, yeah, that was just a little anomaly there.
Let's hit one more.
Okay.
Nicely done.
There we go.
One bounce, pin high.
Good.
Really good. Yep.
221.
Right on our, just right on our number.
And 0.7 toe up. So it's, I mean, I've hit some career shots with this thing over the course of the summer. So I guess it's got a pretty good reading right now.
Pretty good. So let's turn a couple the other way. We know you're going to hit it half a club further is what you normally hit your little draw versus your fade.
A little low on the face. I'm going to go a little bit higher draw.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm just gonna pick my flight a little bit better here, Ian. I'm gonna go a little higher draw here.
Really nice.
There we go.
Beautiful. So you've flown that about 230, 227. We get a little bit of run out. We have a little bit less spin, so we get a forward bounce. Strike is in the middle. Yeah, I mean, that one is kind of doing its job.
Yeah.
The one thing that we can throw into the mix here, which is, you know, you and I we've got this on kind of going series of looking at all parts of club fitting. I would share with you at this point, I think you're playing the wrong shaft. I'll throw that curveball at you.
This is the shaft I've played my whole life.
I think it's the wrong one. I think for a start, it's too soft. Even worse, it's over length, so it's playing even softer than standard flex.
Right.
A lot of the anomalies and changes dynamically that we're seeing, the excess curvature, a lot of that could be stripped away. So we're kind of throwing a Band-Aid on what is a little bit of the soft shaft. So that's for another video where we drop that you know, bombshell on you.
I'm in shock.
There's the bombshell. But then for the next video, we show you what we mean by that. I know. But you know, I think for you, I think if we went into something.
So what would just give me a preview as to
straight? Well, bend profile. You love that bend profile. So I would have you look at something like the new 120 Dynamic Gold Tour issue. In X-Flex.
X-Flex
strip away a little bit of the weight, give you a little bit more stability and stiffness from the bend profile. We might look at a couple, maybe Modus 120. You know, we want to look at something like that. X, TX. You know, not many people can swing their irons up around over 100 miles an hour with the irons.
Right.
You've got a lot of speed. So I think we can take away a lot of that excess curvature. We'll look at how the club works dynamically, a little bit of droop in the shaft. You know, we have all these things going on that dynamically work, and if the shaft is too soft,
sign me up.
Okay. So that's for another video.